Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite NHL DFS plays for this Thursday, January 18th slate. We had ourselves 11 games here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and then we'll wrap up the video with 3 low-priced options or sub 4K forward plays. With that being said, let's dive right into this. And we're going to kick things off here by highlighting the 11 games we have here tonight, showing you the money lines and over-unders. First set of games here, we got the Avalanche at Bruins, Blackhawks at Sabres, Wild at Lightning, Stars at Flyers, and the St. Louis Blues taking on the Washington Capitals. Next set of games here, we got the Canadiens at Senators, Kraken at Oilers, Maple Leafs at Flames, Coyotes at Canucks, Rangers at Golden Knights, and the Nashville Predators taking on the Los Angeles Kings. And then here's a quick schedule update to wrap up this week. Last NHL DFS video here for this week, and then my last NFL DFS video of the 2023 NFL season will be coming out tomorrow, breaking down my favorite tournament or GPP plays for the 4-game slate that runs from Saturday to Sunday. With all that said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with a line that I've probably should have highlighted already, but we're going to talk about them here today. It's that first line for the Vancouver Canucks. You got Miller centering Besser and Pettersson. Now, for starters, this is a very expensive line stack, but for all the right reasons. These three have truly been incredible together. In the 6 games that they've now played together, they've combined for 15 goals, 15 assists, 30 points, and 51 shots on net. I know that's a small sample size, but numbers don't lie, and these three have been racking up major numbers as of late, and really all year long. Plus, I love the strong correlation you get with all three playing up on the Canucks' #1 power play, and a good matchup at home here tonight against the Coyotes team, who's not playing their best hockey as of late, allowing 3.86 goals per game over their last 7 games. And then when it comes to cheaper line stacks here tonight, there's actually a few that I want to mention during this segment, but the one that I'm going to highlight is that second line for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We have Cirelli centering Hagel and Paul, a very affordable line stack here, and a great spot at home against the Minnesota Wild. This is a line that logs big minutes for this Tampa Bay team. I don't want to say they've necessarily been hot as of late, because if you look at their numbers, they really haven't been, but they play important minutes for this team, and you're going to see Paul play up on the #1 power play, Hagel and Cirelli play down on their #2 power play. They get some time on the penalty kill as well, and like I said, I just like this matchup at home here against a struggling Minnesota team that's gone 2-7-1 in their last 10 games, allowing 3.80 goals per game during that stretch, with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 77% rate. Now, I mentioned that I like a handful of cheaper line stacks here tonight in general. You can see those listed at the bottom of the graphic. The Flames third line, Stars second line, Capitals first line, or Sabres second line are all in play for me tonight if I'm looking for cheap line stacks. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here. We're going to kick it off with the forwards. Now, with 11 games here tonight, 22 different teams, there's a lot of great spend-up options, but one guy who I think is kind of flying under the radar is Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers, which is kind of crazy to say, but he's priced at $7,500 here tonight. He's kind of casually dropped into this mid-7K range when he's usually and probably should be priced in the 8K range. He's got 21 goals, 25 assists, 46 points in 40 games this year, including 7 goals, 4 assists, 11 points in his last 10 games, playing on the second line and #1 power play for the Oilers. Like I said, there's a lot of great spend-up options here on this slate tonight, but Draisaitl is one guy who is just seemingly flying under the radar. The next guy I got here then is Cole Caulfield of the Montreal Canadiens, priced at $6,200 tonight in a matchup on the road against the Ottawa Senators. Caulfield started off the season hot, then cooled off in December, but has started to heat up here again as of late with 6 goals, 3 assists, 9 points in his last 10 games. I love the way he's been shooting the puck as well, with 37 shots on net during that stretch, playing up on the first line in #1 power play, and this has really been a spot to target here, especially as of late against the Ottawa Senators, a team that's allowed 3.77 goals per game this year, the second most in the NHL, while having the second worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 72% rate. And then I actually like the other side of this game as well, targeting the Ottawa Senators. I was going to highlight Brady Tkachuk. I think he's a fine play tonight, but I like Claude Giroux here as well at $5,400. Obviously playing the Montreal Canadiens at home. This has arguably been the most consistent forward for Ottawa this year, and he is offering nice value at his price here in the mid 5K range. He's got 13 goals, 24 assists, 37 points in 39 games, including 11 points here in his last 10 games, playing up on the first line and number one power play for the Sens. Now, during the stacking portion of this video, I mentioned that third line for the Calgary Flames, and I did talk about this guy on Tuesday as well, but then he scored a goal on Tuesday night again. That's Blake Coleman of the Calgary Flames, priced at $5,400 here tonight, playing the Maple Leafs at home. Truly on an absolute heater right now with 10 goals, 6 assists, 16 points in his last 11 games, averaging 15.5 DraftKings points per game, while playing on the Flames' third line, second power play, and their penalty kill. And for what it's worth, I don't mind targeting the Flames power play tonight because the penalty kill for the Maple Leafs has really struggled as of late, hitting at just a 68% rate in their last 10 games. And then dipping into the 4K range of forwards here, I like Casey Middlestead of the Buffalo Sabres, and honestly, I don't mind that first line either tonight of Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch, and Middlestead playing the Chicago Blackhawks here at home, but Middlestead himself priced here in the 4K range is offering some nice value. He's been quietly very good this year with 12 goals, 26 assists, 38 points in 44 games, including 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points in his last 10 games, playing up on that first line and number one power play for the Sabres. And we know the Chicago team is not very good, a team that's allowed 3.59 goals per game this year, the fourth most in the NHL, while having the sixth worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 76% rate. Now, moving on to the defensemen here, definitely some nice spend-up options tonight, but I'm going to stick with the Buffalo Sabres here because I do like Rasmus Dahlin at $7,400 tonight. We can stack him up with that first line that I just mentioned. We can target that number one power play, but this is a very well-rounded defenseman who can rack up DraftKings points in a number of different ways. Logs around 24 minutes per game, plays on their number one power play and the penalty kill. He's got 12 goals, 23 assists, 35 points in 43 games this year, while averaging 3 shots on net per game and 2 block shots per game. And then getting back to that game between the Senators and Montreal, I do like Mike Matheson, but I'm going to highlight Thomas Chabot here on the Ottawa side, priced at $5,500. Another very well-rounded defenseman here who logs big minutes for the Sens, should play around 23 minutes here tonight and up on their number one power play. He's got 1 goal, 8 assists, 9 points here in 17 games, while averaging 2.7 shots on net per game and 2.2 block shots per game. Now, dipping into the 4K range of defensemen here, I like Thomas Harley of the Dallas Stars, priced at $4,500 in a matchup on the road against Philadelphia. With Miro Heiskanen on the IR right now for Dallas, we've seen Harley work his way onto that number one power play, which is loaded with talent: Rope Hintz, Jason Robertson, Joe Pavelski, Matt Duchene, and he's playing just big minutes in general right now for Dallas, logging around 22-23 minutes per night. He's got 9 goals, 12 assists, 21 points in 40 games this year, while averaging close to 2 block shots per game. There are a few other plays that I like in the 4K range though as well. I think Devon Toews of the Avalanche and Brock Faber of the Minnesota Wild are also in play. And then dipping into the 3K range here, I'm going to go back to Samuel Girard of the Colorado Avalanche. Tougher matchup on the road here tonight against Boston, but since he's returned to the lineup 9 games ago, he's at 8+ DraftKings points in 8 of those games. Look, if you're going to give me 9-10 DraftKings points at this price, 100% okay with that. And he showed a ceiling score last game, going 25+ DraftKings points in that game against Ottawa. The upside is definitely there. He should log around 19 minutes here tonight, play on the Avalanche number 2 power play and their penalty kill, and he's definitely not afraid to block shots, averaging close to 2 per game, and he's definitely someone who can get 3 in a game and get you that 3-point DraftKings bonus. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you, and there are some decent low-price goaltender options tonight. Joey Decord's the one that sticks out for Seattle. We all know how good he's been as of late, but I'm going to highlight 2 guys that I wouldn't mind spending up for tonight. First being Stuart Skinner here of the Edmonton Oilers, priced at $8,300. $1,500 at home here against Seattle. He has truly been great as of late, winning his last 8 games with a save percentage of .948, goals allowed average of 1.48, averaging close to 21 Draftkings points per game. The Oilers themselves are just playing really good hockey right now, riding an 11-game winning streak, and it is worth noting that this Kraken team is wrapping up a 6-game road trip as well. The Oilers are home favorites tonight as well, sitting on a money line of -205, and I obviously like that too. And then another goalie that I don't mind spending up for here tonight is David Rittich of the Los Angeles Kings, priced at $7,900 in a matchup at home against Nashville. He has been quite the surprise ever since being called up from the AHL, going 3-0-1 in his first 4 games with the save percentage of .932, goals allowed average of 1.61, really solid numbers there. And this Kings team is one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. They've allowed just 2.56 goals per game this year, the 3rd fewest in the NHL, and I also like that the Kings are home favorites here tonight, sitting on a money line of -155. And as always, going to wrap up this video here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy that I got is Ross Colton of the Colorado Avalanche, currently priced at $3,800, and he's centering their second line while playing up on the #1 power play, and that's really what I'm targeting with him getting time on that #1 power play for the Avalanche, which is just littered with talent. McKinnon, Rantanen, Makar. If you're on the ice with those guys, the opportunity will be there. The next guy I got here then is TJ Oshie of the Washington Capitals, priced at $3,800 as well, playing up on their first line and #1 power play. And he's kind of found his scoring touch here as of late with 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points in his last 6 games. And then the last guy that I got there is Juraj Slafkovsky of the Montreal Canadiens, priced at $3,400, and he seems to be coming around a little bit here, playing up on that first line with Suzuki and Caulfield, while also getting time on the #1 power play. He's now scored goals in back-to-back games, hitting 14.1 and 23.1 DraftKings points, showing some really nice upside, especially considering the price. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 11-game slate. And in the meantime, I'm out of here.